But my name is Kristen Wyatt. For those of you guys that do not know me yet, we're all about to get very close because we're going to talk about the nitty gritty ins and outs of recruiting. So I'm a Ruby ambassador here with Q, and hang on one sec. I'm going to make sure everybody is staying muted. And I'm on the advisory council. And I got to tell you guys, I am in your same boat. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how often we as leaders, no matter what you do, no matter what rank you are, you need the same reminders, and we all need to learn the same skill set. And so Francesca Fields, as you guys know, I'll talk about in a second, and I were chatting about this, and she was saying, I really want to do a workshop. And I was like, oh my gosh, let's do this. And we decided to do this, and I'll tell you guys exactly why. So many of you guys have these natural God-given talents, and they're incredible. And you guys have people that trust you. And some of you guys have a following. Some of you guys have close friends, family, people that you've built relationships with over the years, and it is really working in your favor since joining Q because you've been able to bring a lot of people into this and impact them and their lives. And then there might be some of you guys that maybe, let's just call it what it is, lack a little bit of influence, or you haven't connected with people in a long time, or don't necessarily have a lot of these relationships anymore. Maybe that you did at one point in your life, maybe you never have. And that doesn't mean you don't want the needle to move too. It might look a little bit different, but you know what's crazy is whether you're person A, I just described, or person B, you both need this training. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, in my first company, I was kind of closer to person B because I only used to get 2 likes on social media. It was my dad and my Aunt Susan. And my Aunt Susan's kind of awkward. So I ended up blocking Aunt Susan. And it's just a long story. So we're not going to get into that because I don't know. She'd comment on all my product posts about like politics. And I'm like, Aunt Susan, I was trying to talk about this drink. Anyways, moving on. So that was me in my first company. And then in this company, I came in with a little bit more influence and a little bit more personal power because people knew me in network marketing and trusted me. And guess what? Both times I have had to learn that even with natural influence or a natural gifting, if you will, of people that had trusted me, even then I ran out of my warm market at some point, and I had to sit with myself and realize I was missing a certain skill set. Natural talent given to us by God, or natural abilities that we all have different, those can't be duplicated. Those can't be taught, which is actually a good thing, right? Because we're all different. We all bring different things to the table. A skill set, though, that can be learned. It can be sharpened. It can be even more honed in on and perfected, not to be perfect, but you get my point. And then it can be taught and it can be duplicated. And that's when you really start to see the residual income that you're wanting. So even if you're a customer getter and you're like, man, it'd be so freaking cool. Oh, literally there's a child truck doing a backup noise somewhere in this room. I literally just heard burr, burr, burr. I'm like, oh gosh, it's a baby monitor. Okay, anyway, moving on, guys. I need to hurry up because I'm only supposed to tell you guys a little bit. This is why we did this, okay? Because we all need it, and we all need to work on those things and sharpen our skill set. So if you guys are here and you're super pumped to learn this, we are going to break this down week by week. So here's the breakdown. Here's the logistics, okay? You need to have this time, this Zoom code, all of this on your calendar for every Tuesday. This is going to be our official time and day for our actual workshop. This is where it's pen, paper, camera on, be zoned in, ready to learn. This is going to be where you're taught all the things, okay? You will be given homework every single week, so you will have time to put it into practice. On Wednesdays, we will offer 2 separate power hours for people to get on Zoom and be able to, and all of this will be emailed to you guys, by the way, with this recording as well, to be able to get on Zoom and do our homework, as well as invite to events and encourage each other just doing normal income producing activities and hold each other accountable. We have one at noon Central and at 7 o'clock Central on Wednesdays. Lastly, on Thursdays, the majority of the Thursdays in October, some dates will be a little bit different, so just check that email. We will be having some sort of QIQ or opportunity event presentation where you can invite people and plug them in. There will be one, I believe, at 8 o'clock Central, one also at 7:30 Pacific time, if some of you guys are those Pacific Standard peeps. So lots of options, and all of that information will be posted on the, respective team pages and all that good stuff. So that's the logistics. That's why we wanted to do this. I'm freaking pumped. I have my pen and paper in hand ready because I get to unleash the beast up in here, and I don't have to do week one. So, I get to introduce the fun one, my little bestie, Francesca Fields. So let me just tell you guys really quickly, because I feel really honored to be on here. And I know I always say this, and Fran's like, oh my God, you're killing me. Shut up. But I just have to say, she is just genuinely one of my favorite people just in life, because she just literally cracks me up, and y'all don't even know what a gangster she is in that little body. However, she also, I have called her numerous times to pick her brain, to learn what is going on in between those ears, because talk about a freaking skill set. She has learned things over her years of experience and learning how to recruit so many of you incredible people that are on here, and it's not by accident. It definitely wasn't by mistake. And so, as you guys know, she's one of only 3 Black Diamonds in this entire company. She is a top earner on our advisory council. When she speaks, you need to listen. Turn your camera on if you can. Let's be fully respectful and take as many notes as we can, because just like I said, when she talks, you got to listen. I know I do. So, Francesca, I made it to where people can't talk. So now I'm going to have to dig through these people and find you really quickly. Should have probably done that while I was talking the entire time. Oh, Francesca Fields, your photo. That doesn't look like you. It looks like, oh my gosh, hold on, guys. Everyone's bouncing around, so I can't click on her name. There we go. I'm making you host. Now it should let you unmute yourself.
Yay. Yeah, I'm on Dave's Zoom, so that's my husband, not me, obviously.
Oh my God. Okay.
Awesome. Well, hey guys, I have to admit, I'm really nervous. I had this just idea to do this recruiting workshop like a week ago. And it was like, okay, I've got all these ideas swirling in my head. Kristen happened to text me at the right time, and I blurted it out, and she was like, oh my gosh, let's do this. And I was like, okay, now we got to do it. And then it was getting all the ideas in our head into like material that's valuable to you. Like, I know that we talk about the same things over and over and over again, and it's good. It's all good, but like, we want to make this to where you can understand and make changes that are going to add value to your business. And we were going to do a small group because this is definitely the beta run, but it kind of got out, and there's over like 1,100 people registered today. So, woo, I'm a little bit nervous, and only because I really want you guys, like I said, to take something good from this. I want this to be worth your time. So I'm nervous, but let's just get into it. I know Kristen, I love when she's like my favorite person ever to introduce me, because I feel so special when she does. So she's really good at edifying people, making them feel good. But my story, I think a lot of you guys know it. And when she talks about, she asked me questions about recruiting, that has been something that I have learned over the years to be good at. And let me tell you my story, like my backstory, okay? Number one, most of y'all know that I come from addiction. And I think on the 13th of this month, I'll have 18 years sober. It's so awesome. I got sober really young, but I was a horrible meth addict, horrible alcoholic, all the things. I was the person from a really young age that parents wouldn't let their kids hang out with. Like, legitimately, I was the one that was like, don't hang out with that girl, from a young age. And so when I talk about, I went from not just having no influence, but having a negative influence, to learning how to build a positive influence that people are actually gravitated towards. Let me just tell you guys, I started from the bottom of the barrel. I can confidently say that, and not in a self-deprecating way, but like, that is the truth. So wherever you're starting in your journey, it's okay. It might take a little bit more time than others, but that's okay. So how did I get from that to kind of clawing my way out into somebody that people actually want to talk to and be around and laugh with and get advice from. Like, that's crazy. How do we get there? So I went to a treatment center for a year and got plugged into a recovery program. The 12 steps, most of y'all probably know it. And I was in that kind of program for over 10 years of my life. And one of the leading principles of that program, some of you guys probably have friends or family in it. I think addiction and alcoholism affect a lot of people. So you probably know at least somebody, but the principle of that program is when we're dealing with selfishness, self-centeredness, fear, dishonesty, just self-pity, God, the list goes on and on and on. The only way to get out of that and to get out of yourself is to serve somebody else. Find a way to be helpful. And so literally, I would be on the phone with my spiritual mentor. I'm just a young kid at this point, like early 20s, maybe even 18, 19. And I would say, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bill, right? And you'd think she'd say, well, you better go find a job, work an extra shift, right? I had a job, I've always had a job, but like go work an extra shift and make some money. That's not what she said. She said, get your little butt in your little car and you drive up to the detox hospital where people have real problems and you go find somebody to help. And I would do that. And it made no sense, but I would do it. And I would leave that hospital. I would leave wherever I was helpful to somebody. And it was like my car wheels wouldn't even touch the ground. It was like I wasn't thinking about myself. I was elated. It just takes, I don't even know I'm going in such detail about this, but the point is serving others and adding value to people takes you out of yourself. It lets people trust you. It lets people know that you're not in it for something, you're not in it for yourself. And if you can do even little things, start small. Like, you don't have to go to the detox hospital and talk to the drunks. You don't have to do that. I mean, I would even I think I told this story at Bronze Academy. I would be like, what do I do to help? What do I do to help? I'm going to go into the bathroom and literally wipe the water off the the counter and throw the trash away that people missed, right? Like, what can I do to just get out of myself? So that's one way to start building value. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's kind of how I started to gain a positive influence and have people trust me. Now, my job was in social work. So I did child abuse investigations for a long time. Had no intention of ever doing network marketing, but I had, and maybe like a lot of you, especially if you're just getting started, I had a lot of misconceptions, prejudgments, whatever you want to say about network marketing. I totally was the person that called it a pyramid scheme. I was totally the person that would avoid the one wanting me to have another candle party. I can't tell you how many candle party light. I had so many candle parties, and I would duck and dodge people and just be like, oh, those people are so annoying. Like, I never wanted to do anything like this. I'm super introverted. I don't just say that. I am super introverted, like really introverted. I'm not a salesperson at all. I hate for people to feel like I'm trying to get something out of them. And so I avoid sales. Like, everything in me just said I would not be great at this. But let me tell you, I'll say it, when I kind of got sucked into my first opportunity 6.5 years ago, no, I take full responsibility. I wanted a discount on some probiotics. So I joined for the discount. I was like totally broke, joined for the discount. When I decided, okay, I'm going to start working this business, I had all those fears in the back of my head of what are people going to think. I made my first post and I turned my phone off for hours because I couldn't handle what somebody would think or say. Like, I turned my phone off, I left it at home, and I went on a walk because I was so scared of what people were going to think or say about me. And it held me back. It took me 3 months to find 3 people to join as an ambassador to rank up 1 time in my first company. 3 months, you guys. That's crazy to rank up once. Okay. So when I had ranked up a couple more times, but I kind of had this come to Jesus moment with myself. where I felt like I was hitting a wall. It was like people weren't really coming in, people weren't really responding about the business. Yes, I was finding people, customers, but like I had big dreams and goals. Like I wanted network marketing to be what made such a difference for our family and other families. And I felt like I kept hitting a wall. And I got to the point where I sat down. I watched a training. I'll never forget who it was. I'm not going to say what, this was a different company. She spoke to my soul because she was talking about the fact that there are so many people out there telling other people what to do, but not being willing to do it themselves. And I realized that my fear of what people were going to think about me, because of the thoughts that I had in the back of my head, that I wouldn't reach out to people. And I hadn't been willing up to that point to do it. I was kind of just putting some posts up on Facebook and hoping people came to me. And oh my gosh, you guys, those posts were awful, so bad. Like my memories pop up and I'm just like, oh my God, like melting. It's so bad. And so it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, you want to get to the next level, Francesca? You got to do next level things. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable it makes you feel. You have to do it. And so that changed my life forever. Y'all want to know what I did? I went that night. I went onto Google. I Googled blank calendar, printed off a 30-day calendar. And in that, every single space in that calendar, I wrote down I printed off my Facebook friends list. I put 5 names every single day in that calendar. And I made a commitment to myself that I would not go to bed at night at all if I had not messaged those 5 people about the opportunity that I had. It was non-negotiable for me. And that's just how I am. You guys will hear me talk about this so many times during my parts of this workshop. It is not about motivation. It is not about inspiration. It is not about how you wake up and feel. Do you feel like working today? Do you feel like messaging people today? Pulse check. How do you feel? If y'all are doing that, stop. You are going to build, if you can even build, you are going to build a business on sand. Our business cannot be built on the fickle feelings and the fickle motivation and inspiration that we have as human beings. It can only be built on discipline and a commitment to yourself that you are unwilling to break, an unwavering commitment to your business and your why and what's driving you. You wake up knowing that what you have to do today is absolutely non-negotiable. You don't even ask yourself how you feel about it. You don't ask yourself what those fears are saying. You don't ask yourself what somebody else is going to think or say. You just do it. So that's what I did. That's what I started doing. I started flying. I became the #1 recruiter in my state in that company. I became top 10 worldwide. We're talking 1 million distributors because of that one commitment I made to myself to do the things regardless and to not be the leader that tells people to do things and doesn't do it. Nobody likes that leader. So I didn't want to be that. Okay, that's a little bit about my story. That's something that I needed to go through as a person, something I for sure wish it didn't take me so long to figure out. And so I really want to take you guys back to, we talk about recruiting and a lot of times it's just about the messages and what do you say, but we all know it's so much deeper than that, because some of you guys have probably been sending those messages for months and you're just like, what the heck? Nobody's responding. I can't get it. What the heck is going on? So I want to take it way, way back. And I've actually got a couple slides. I work better on slides, so I didn't do too much, but I'm going to share my screen if that's possible and just give you guys a visual of this. Can everybody see that? Hopefully. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first thing this week is going to be kind of based on the limiting beliefs, the commitment you have to yourself. I want you guys, this is where this vulnerability and digging deep with yourself is going to be really important. And that's something else I learned in my recovery journey. We had to do these things called an inventory. We had to do a big one and actually sit down face to face with somebody and basically go through all of our life's mistakes with somebody. And then we were supposed to do it on a daily basis, like really take inventory. Like, was I selfish today? Did I lie today? Like, what do I need to clean up, like every single day? And we kind of described it. I don't know why I'm going into this. I really don't need to, but it was really, what I learned from this was get honest with yourself. Like, take a clear inventory of yourself. You don't have to tell anybody else, but you really need to dig deep and really sit down and think, what is that block holding me back? Am I willing to really step out of my comfort zone and do things that really make me feel uncomfortable? Am I willing to take that step out? What are the voices saying that are holding you back? Mine was a lot of the judgments that I held for other people. And so I thought, if I thought those things, they must be thinking those things. And oh my gosh, that's awful, right? What are the things holding you back? There's so many different things. Maybe somebody in childhood told you that you would never be successful. Or maybe someone told you that if you ever made too much money, you would be greedy and selfish, and you're not supposed to make money, and you're not supposed to have money, and blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's the fear of what other people think about you. Maybe it's the fear of what life would look like if this really did take off. Like, there's so many different things, but you need to sit down and figure out what that wall is, figure out what that block is. And we need to tackle it, or we at least need to know what it is so we can call it by its name and start to take it down. But if you're not willing to even see what that is, we can't move forward in that. Okay, why can't you do this? And why not you? If me, you guys, I told y'all my story. I am literally nothing special. You should see my kids. Like, oh my gosh, you should see my kids. We got judged so bad at dinner tonight. Shepherd had my lipstick all over his face. We barely remembered to put underwear on him because I had to take his underwear off at the park because he pooped in his pants. Like, we are a hot mess. I am nothing special. I've had a life and I've had a journey, but if me, why not you? What's holding you back from achieving something that I've achieved? And is this fear? Are these things that you're thinking of what other people might think about you, is that more important than your why? Is it? There is nothing in this world, nothing you could think or say. And trust me, as you climb the ranks in network marketing, people start making jabs. Nothing is more important than my family and my why. Okay? How deeply connected are you to your why? And that's something that will really take it back to, are you operating based on motivation and feelings and excitement? Or are you operating out of discipline? Because if you are strongly connected to your why, you are going to operate out of a discipline and a commitment to yourself that nothing can really shake. So how deeply connected are you to your why? Have you actually really sat down and thought about why you're doing this? Like, on a deep level, not just like, yeah, I'd like to pay off debt. No, we are going deep because you need to get connected so that you're then willing to step out of this comfort zone and do the things that literally make you nauseous. All right. You could also be repelling the business partners that you want. Okay, so when I first started network marketing, one of the reasons why I couldn't recruit anybody is because when I talked to people, it was so apparent that I was so scared of what they'd think if I brought up this business that it was like, all right, she's weird. She's being weird about this. I don't think I trust this. Like, she doesn't seem that confident about this. So I'm going to just buy some probiotics from her, right? So how are you exuding the confidence that you need to attract the business builders that you want? Borrow it. We used to talk about this in recovery. If you don't have the faith you need, borrow it. Borrow it from somebody who does. I don't want to say fake it till you make it, because the confidence in what we have is not fake. It's there, it's real, it's tangible. There is no denying it, but maybe you need to borrow somebody's in order to take that next step. Also, Sarah Spencer, I talked to her yesterday and she said something profound to me. She said a lot of people are talking from the place of where they are now, and it's not confident, instead of grasping where they want to be and talking from that place. And I thought that that was super profound. So I wanted to throw that in there because I was like, dang, girl, taking me to church. I love it. All right, so let's talk a little bit further about exuding that confidence when you're talking to people, because these are the things that you need to remember before you try to reach out and talk to anybody. And in our further sessions, we are going to be diving deep into the words and the timing and the conversations. Like, we're going to be getting really specific with y'all, but this is kind of the pre-work up until getting ready to even be able to do that. All right, so people are begging for this opportunity, whether they know it or not. They might not think they want it, but they need it. There are so many people out there right now specifically that need what we have to offer. We are in the business of finding problems and offering a solution. And the coolest thing about Q Sciences is that we have a solution to most of people's problems in the sense of health concerns and financial concerns and debt payoff and community and all of those sorts of self-growth. We have those solutions. And so you just have to remind yourselves that what you're offering somebody with this opportunity is invaluable to them. You are not inconveniencing them. You are not annoying them. You are offering them something that they need, whether they know it or not. Loosen up, you guys. You are who you are, and people love you because of who you are. I can't tell you, so people come to me all the time, and I try to get to every single one. I promise I do. People come to me all the time and they say, I cannot get anybody to listen to an opportunity call or even answer me about this business. And the first thing I say, if you've come to me and I've said this to you, you probably know, what are you saying? Okay, because that is super important. And so many times the messages that people send me, it's like a robot wrote it. It's like they just said, hey Siri, write out my elevator pitch for Q Sciences, and like Siri wrote it or something. I'm like, that's not you. Loosen up. Like, is that how you would talk to a friend on the phone about the mascara you love? Or is that how you would talk to a friend on the phone about the amazing dinner you had the other night? Like, no. So loosen up, you guys, and be yourself. There is no elevator pitch for Q. This is about how this company has added value to your life and how you think this company could add value to their life. Also, we'll talk about this further, but if you're not saying enough about how you think this opportunity can add value to them, they have no reason to want to check it out. None. So you need to identify the point of their life in which they need value added to, and you need to show them not in a long drawn out way, not in a word vomit way, but in a way where they realize that, hey, this actually might add value and I should probably check it out. Okay. Also, one thing that I do that I think everybody should kind of try to do before you send messages is I always sit back and I think, if I was on the receiving end of this message, how would I feel? Would I want to listen? Would I want to learn more? Would I feel like I'm being sold to? Would I feel like I'm talking to a friend? I always try to stop and think, if this message came into my inbox, what would I do? Try to start thinking that before you send messages to people, because you really want to put yourself in their position. We know how incredible this opportunity is. Not everybody knows that right off the bat. We have to show them. And then always adding value. I think I already talked about that. A lot of times people will say that they are scared of sounding cheesy or spammy or salesy to their friends. And I always think, and I always say, if you are scared of sounding cheesy, salesy, or spammy, it's because what you think you're supposed to say to somebody is cheesy, salesy, and spammy. There is nothing you're supposed to say. We don't need a 60-second elevator pitch. You just need to be yourself and loosen up. That's why these people love you. Okay, so we already talked a little bit about gaining influence. This is an important piece of the puzzle because if you don't have influence and if the people in your life don't trust you like I once was, you're going to have a hard time getting people to say yes to moving further with Q. And so one of the quickest ways to gain influence, obviously, is to serve. I am huge on this. I will serve somebody even if it does not benefit me at all. And maybe Q, I can't tell you how many people I've said, like, hey, maybe Q's not for you. I don't know if you're willing to take the action. And it sounds like you'd be going into overdraft in your bank if you signed up with us. And I don't know if this is right for you right now, right? Like, there are ways that I have to serve people that in no way, shape, or form benefit me at all. And so just try to keep in the forefront of everything you do and every action you take is benefiting others, serving people. Vulnerability in telling your story is huge. Okay, so when you're talking about Q Sciences in posts, in stories on social media, when you're messaging people, every post should weave your story in some way that connects. You have to be vulnerable and transparent. If you signed up for Q, you never made a post about it, and then all of a sudden you're posting about CBD oil or collagen, people are going to be so confused. They're gonna be like, wait, collagen, wait, do you sell that? Like, what's going on? You have to let people in your story from the very start. You have to let them know why. Why are you doing this? What drove you to actually push join and to actually get yourself out of your comfort zone to do something big for your family? You have to share the vulnerable details, and not to like, don't do what I did with y'all and put all your dirty laundry out there. But I bet me telling you that intimate part of myself, I bet that makes you trust me a little bit more. Knowing where I've been, knowing where I come from, knowing how I got to where I'm at today, I bet just a little bit more than before you got on this call, you trust me or you connect with me just a little bit more. That's what you want to do with your audience when you're sharing this incredible opportunity. So every post you make needs to weave in at some point your story, because they need to know that it's you talking to them. And it's not me talking to them. They don't know who I am. They don't want my words. They want your words and what you have to add. It's your network. I hope that makes sense. If you need extra resources on that idea, start with Why by Simon. I never say his last name right. Sinek. It is awesome. He did a TED talk on it too. If you'd rather listen to a podcast or something, look up his TED talk. It's incredible. And it is extremely relevant to what we do with our social selling. Okay, here's the other thing I see. I see people in our team, in this company, in this industry, it's more about quantity over quality, if that makes sense. Bring in as many people as you can instead of really considering and really getting bold and breaking through those limiting beliefs and trying to recruit the people that could really make a difference for your business. Why couldn't you recruit me, a Black Diamond, to Q? Why couldn't you? Right? I want you guys to start dreaming and thinking bigger. Why not you? If it's not you, somebody else is going to tell them about it at some point. So I want you guys to start dreaming really, really big and not grabbing the easy recruit just because you can. And we're going to start teaching you guys ways that you can start speaking and posting in ways that will attract the person that you want on your team, attracting that leader, attracting that person, like I said, that could really move the needle. So I want to take 2 minutes and make sure that I've got time. Okay, I want to take 2 minutes. Hopefully you guys have pen and paper. I'm going to put my timer on. I want you to start making a list of the people in your network that you know would be successful. Do not even think to yourself, oh, I'm not going to write her name down. She wouldn't want to do this with me. Don't do that. if the name pops up, write it down, but really take 2 minutes and start thinking of people in your network that you know that would be successful with you here. Okay, I'm going to start a timer. Y'all have 20 seconds. Okay, hopefully you guys wrote down at least 10 names. I would hope at least 10, because these are going to come in handy, I think probably in week 2 or 3. I can't remember which one, but please just keep that list somewhere that you know where it is, because we're going to use it. Okay, also, I want you to take a good hard look at your social media. Maybe you guys can even pair up together and say, hey, you check out my Facebook and let me know what you would honestly think if you were not in Q, if you had never heard about it before, if you weren't even in network marketing. If you looked at my Facebook page, would you be attracted to what I'm doing? Y'all pair up together and do that and give each other really honest feedback that could really help somebody with their business and their posting. And basically, this is our billboard, right? This is like the sign out in the front of our business that people are either going to be like, never going there, or I'd really like to go check it out. Okay, so help each other out with that. But if you're posting copy and paste, that's not going to work. But if you're posting copy and paste, stock photos, graphics, all of those sorts of things, people are just going to know like, oh, she probably grabbed that from somebody else. That's, it's not you. It's not authentic. It's not what's going to attract, for sure, not the big leaders that you probably want to bring in. So really consider that. Now, what does attract the big leaders? And this is something I've thought about a whole lot, because people ask me, how do you attract leaders? How do you attract these people that totally blow up? And I thought, you know what? I was one of those people. What attracted me to this? What do I put out there that might attract people to it? And so I've really thought about these things. Number one, people winning. If they're not your wins, it's okay. Nobody knows. Grab them from your team. Grab those wins from your team. Use overall team numbers. That's okay. I actually joined my sponsor, Chastity, because of her sponsor, Tara. I did not know Tara. We were not friends, but Chastity kept sharing Tara's wins, and it got me really curious. And I thought, okay, this Tara chick knows what she's doing. Her team is winning a lot. What the heck what are they doing over there? So those wins, those rank ups, the fast moving, everything going on, like that really attracted me to that specific part of the business. Being a part of a community. People desperately want to be a part of a movement in a community. So talk about that. the edge of timing. That was huge for me. I knew that if I was going to choose another network marketing company, no matter what, the timing was going to be right. That was like non-negotiable for me. So while we have that, talk about it. Compensation that can't be beat. Talk about, and while you're doing this, you guys, I want you to weave in parts of your story into this, right? So if you've maybe done network marketing before and you didn't get anywhere, talk about that. I didn't think that I was ever going to have success in network marketing. I didn't think I'd ever find a home where I had the culture of what I really craved. But oh my gosh, you guys, I can't even believe X, Y, and Z. I can't believe, whatever it is, like we are growing so quickly. I never thought that I'd see momentum like this. Like, weave in your story into these topics so that people can relate to bits and pieces. Top earners working with all levels on the team. There is no other network marketing company in the world. I feel like I can confidently say that, maybe 99% confident, where there are top earners working in almost every part of the business of Q. I used to have to beg for like 5 minutes of a tip from a top earner, and I was a top recruiter on the team. What we have here is really special. There is a top earner almost in every single part of Q Sciences. Use that. That is huge. Corporate collaboration. Again, I used to beg Kristen and I, we were like, can we please have a meeting with you, corporate, please? I got like 30 minutes once, and she kind of just like patted me on the head and made me feel like a dummy. But what we have here, where I can literally text Anne and say, hey, have you ever thought about this? Like, this would be so cool. And she texts me back and she's like, oh my God, that'd be awesome. That is so rare. And top earners, leaders want to know that that's a possibility. So are you talking about that? Have you been to Silver Summit? Have you been to Bronze Academy and met Anne, or met Dr. Kimberly, or met Mark Wilson? Have you gotten a picture with the top earner? Y'all should be talking about things like this, shaking hands, rubbing elbows, having conversations. These are important things that you need to be highlighting of what we have here at Q. And then use your stories for products. That's where I put my stories, or product stuff is in my stories, like how I use the products throughout my day. And then use your main page, those posts, to attract leaders to you. You get a filter, have good lighting, get good pictures, like really like Lensa, you guys, Lensa. People always say, oh my gosh, your pictures always look so good. It's Lensa. You push one button called magic correction and your picture looks incredible. It is the easiest app in the world. Use that and just have those nice lightings and those nice pictures that people are going to be like, oh, look at Kristen today. Hot damn. Like, I want to read this post. Like, do things that are really going to attract people to that. Let me see. Okay. Yes. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is reels. If you are not doing reels because you feel like it is outside of your comfort zone or outside of your network or maybe your age group, listen to me. I would not do reels forever because I was like, I would look like a dummy. That's just not me. I don't know how to like edit them and stuff. Start copying people, start scrolling through your reels and start just finding really simple ones and recreate it. But this 30 reels in 30 days will get you seen. I just signed up somebody that is going to be incredible from a reel she saw randomly of mine. She told me, she was like, I think I saw a reel of yours. And then I just like went to your page and then I just clicked your link tree and then I couldn't help but like, I couldn't unsee what I saw. I was like, yes, those reels. Start simple and copy them. They don't have to be elaborate. None of mine are elaborate. You can actually go laugh at my reels if you want to, but they work. Step out of your comfort zone, do something new, and get yourself seen. Okay. All right. And then let me go over the homework. I'm ending a little bit early. We're trying to do this for an hour, but this is kind of just the pre-work of getting your mindset right. But this is your list of homework. Take a picture of it if you need. But the first thing I want you guys to do before next week is write an attribute list. of the type of leader you want to recruit and be specific. I have my attribute list somewhere over here that I've written that is, oh my gosh, there's so many things: influential, coachable, integrity, disciplined, all those aspects of a leader that you would want. Write them down and be very, very specific. Okay, I also want you guys to start doing the 1-minute exercise. This came from my business coach, Jenny Bird, I guess. She's incredible. She's more like a life coach. She's just awesome for me. But she taught me how to do this last year, and it changed. It's literally the pinpoint of my business changing. So I started doing it. It takes 60 seconds. You can do it in the shower. You can do it when you're going to the bathroom. You can do it when you're making your coffee. It doesn't matter. It's 60 seconds a day. And if you're diligent and do this the right way, it will change your business. Okay. I want to hear the stories at the end of this recruiting workshop of how this has helped you. But basically, this is next level affirmations. Most of us are used to, you are beautiful and you are smart and you've got big things coming your way. Just stare in the mirror and say that, but none of us really believe it. So it's just like, you're just repeating it to yourself. This is different. Okay. So this is my 1-minute exercise. Yours is going to look different. I want you to write it based on the attributes that you're writing for your leader. But this is what you do. My affirmation is, I can easily attract influential leaders to my business. I can easily attract influential leaders to my business, because you want to know what my hang up was? That no matter what, I couldn't attract that person, that leader. I just, for some reason, I thought I just can't. It falls through, or they go somewhere else, or they sign up with somebody else. Like that's what I would think. And so, nope, I can easily attract influential leaders to my business. So I say that affirmation, or that whatever my affirmation is. And then what you do after that is you think, how she asked me, how would you feel if that was true? Confident and joyful. That would be amazing, right? Excited. Think about how you would feel if your affirmation were true. Mine was confident, joyful, excited. And then what you do for the next bit of that minute is you think about a memory that pulls up those feelings in you. Okay, so mine was when my team hit platinum at convention. Some of y'all might have saw that picture that I put in my story the other day. I couldn't believe it. It was like, oh my gosh, it was the overwhelming joy and excitement and confidence. And so I say my affirmation, and for the next minute, I think of that memory and I pull those feelings up. And what that does is it creates new pathways in your brain, new neural, whatever. She's very scientific about it, but it basically rewires your brain so that you're not just saying those on repeat and not connecting to them, but your brain and your body and what you start to put out believes that. And that's what you start to believe. And then that's what starts to come. Okay. Then what I want you to do is write out your commitment to yourself and the schedule that you will stay committed to during these 30 days. It doesn't have to be 3 hours a day, but you need at least 30 minutes a day that you have carved out specifically, not to scroll Facebook, not to think about, oh, if I message this person, what is she going to say? We're over that. This is a commitment and a discipline. We're doing it no matter what, right? I will not go to sleep at night until these 5 people are messaged. That's what it all started with for me. Okay, so we're going to write out that commitment to yourself, and you're going to put it somewhere in your house that it can be seen every day. This is your commitment, not just to you, but to your why. Whatever that why is, this is your commitment to that. And then I want you guys to make a post on social media that is vulnerable and attractive to the leader that you want to recruit. You've got your attribute list. You've got to think to yourself, if this was me and I saw this post and I knew nothing about this company, would I want to know more? And you've got to be vulnerable, and you've got to tell your story, and you have to be transparent. Okay. And those, maybe we should come up with a hashtag. That would be kind of cool, but I didn't think that far ahead. I'm not good at that kind of stuff, but at least then we could all like love on each other's vulnerable posts, right? Okay. That, my friends, is all I have. We are going to create a Telegram chat for this group And we will send it out with the recording and the email. So if you want to just have some more connection outside of our workshops, we would love that. I would also love to know your feedback on this. And if it added value, please be honest with me. I want to perfect this as much as I can to continue running it. So if there's something you feel I can do better, please let me know. I will not take it personally. If there's something you got immense value from, please let me know. You can email it to me. I think most of y'all got my email. It's francescaefields@gmail.com. I would just love to know your feedback so that we can continue doing this and make it something we can use for years to come. But thanks, you guys, for spending your Tuesday night with us. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for the power hours and then next week for our next session. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Guys, thank you.